Welcome to AdCons, the easiest way to explore your journey of investing in stock market. Earnings per share. It is the profit calculated per share basis when we see the net profit and growth in profit. It will be vague, but one can get a clear idea if we say what is the earning per equity share. Earnings per share EPS is equal to profit after tax divided by the total number of shares issued. In order to get a clear idea of what this ratio tells, let us assume one possesses 100 shares of face value of rupees 10 each in Oswal Agro Mills Limited. Suppose Oswal Agro Mill earns rupees 60 crores as net profit and its equity shares is say 120 crores, say 12 crore number of shares, say 120 crore rupees divided by 10 is equal to 12. Then EPS is equal to 60 divided by 12 is equal to 5 rupees per share. Suppose it paid 2 rupees as dividend, then 4 rupees remaining will be transferred to reserves. Even though the dividend is 2 rupees per share, because of EPS 6 rupees and remaining available with the company as reserves, the investor would get benefit due to market prices of the share go up. Suppose an investor had bought share in Ganesh Benzoplast Limited at twice the amount their face value, say at 20 rupees per share, then an EPS of 6 rupees per share, which would mean a 30% returns on his investment, of which 10%, say 2 rupees per share, is divided and 20%, rupees 4 per share, the plowback. Under ideal conditions, plowback should slash up the prices of shares by 20%, say to 20 rupees from 24 rupees per share. Therefore, irrespective of what share price you buy a particular company's shares at, its EPS will provided you with an invaluable tool for calculating the returns on your investment. Conclusion: higher EPS reflects the company's growth in earnings at net level and attracts more buyers. Market capitalization. The market capitalization means an evaluation derived by multiplying total volume of shares by its market price. Number of equity share multiplied by market price is equal to market capitalization. It is more useful when calculating on industry basis. For we have to take all or active companies of a particular industry and multiply the aggregate volume of shares average market price of shares. Market capitalization of an industry is equal to aggregate number of shares multiplied by industry average market price. When buyers rush, then the market capitalization attracts a particular industry starts increase. This we can compare monthly or fortnightly basis. The highest market capitalization industry is really the one which attract largest number of investors. There is no necessity to buy number one industry, but we can select top 25 out of 400 industry groups approximately mentioned in various business and investment magazines. Conclusion: increasing trend and top ranking market capitalization is the attractive position. Return on net worth. Return on net worth is slightly differing in calculating and comparing the net profit. For example, say if a company is having 100 crores equity capital and earned 75 crores, simply we can say earning per share is equal to 75 divided by 100 is equal to 75%. At the same time, if the company is having 650 crores reserves, actually it will use 650 plus 100, 750 crores for its business activities. So we can get more clear idea about return when comparing with the total capital employed. Say earning per share is equal to 75 divided by 100 is equal to 7.50 or 75% return on net worth is equal to 75 divided by 100 plus 650 is equal to 0.1 is equal to 10%. Actually, the company return one net worth seems very low, but to EPS seems attractive. In all companies, we have to compare both and to find out the real earnings by the company. In old companies with huge reserves, RONW will vary normally. But some new companies also maintain some debts to project higher EPS. So a better conclusion can be arrived based on RONW, that is profits earned for the total capital deployed or utilized. Conclusion: RONW should be high or compare with EPS. Debt to equity ratio. Net worth consists of equity capital, reserves and borrowed funds consisting of long-term and short-term debt. For a profit-making, tax-paying company, some debt in the company structure is advantageous because interest on debt is a tax-deductible expense. Generally, companies try to maximize their EPS by a suitable mix of debt and net worth. However, too much debt is risky and in recession times it may lead for closure. Conclusion: so low debt to equity ratio is better. I hope you liked the video. See you in the next video. Keep practicing, keep learning, keep growing.